Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Welcome back to my channel, The Knowledge Tower. Dear viewers, my name is Abdul Qayyum and I am Professor of English abroad. And I hope so that you might have watched my previous videos and which I have uploaded from time to time. And if you have not so far, so I will give a link in the description so you can watch them and share them, like them and subscribe them so that you could be notified and you may not miss any one of the uploaded videos in the future. So today, as in continuity of the modules, we are going to talk about writing module of general training module IELTS. So I will give you some tips. What are the things which are very essential according to examination point of view, which are called exam tips and techniques. So as you know, in writing task of general module IELTS, the time duration which is given is 1 hour, and there are two tasks in fact, task 1 and task 2. In task 1 there are 20 minutes which are provided, and in task 2 40 minutes are dedicated and given. So what kind of questions, what kind of writing tasks are expected in task 1 and task 2? So in general training modules IELTS, in task 1 there is a kind you are supposed to write a letter to a given situation. It could be any situation and you have to write in response to that a letter. So maximum 150 words you have to write on that. And in task 2 there will be a discursive or argumentative essay, or it could be opinion essay, it could be comparative contrast essay, or it could be argumentative essay, or an essay in which you have to give some reasons or arguments to prove the thesis. So discursive essay is given in task 1. So once again you have to remember one thing about what is important. Although both are important in order to get better scores, but as far as task 1 is concerned, it is less means important in comparison to task 2 of writing, because task 2 carries heavy weightage in grading, marking and getting your better scores in the writing module of IELTS. Now let us talk about exam tips. As you know that for every type of exam that you're going to prepare for, you're going to appear in, you have to prepare something for it. So as I said in my previous modules also, you have to do constant and systematic practice. So practice makes a man perfect. So the less practice you do, so likely you have less chances of getting the desired goals. Constant systematic practice on daily basis enhances your skills of writing, and when you do not means when you relinquish the effort of writing slowly and on systematic basis, on frequent basis at home, so ultimately you will lose your writing power. So to continue to maintain that momentum of writing, you have to do practice on daily basis, which is very essential to make your writing skills easy and comfortable to write on any topic of the world. Now let's get going on about the exam tips. Number 1 is, don't use contractions in your writing. So some candidates or some students are quite habitual of writing the contractions, that is short forms of the words. So do not do this in this writing module of IELTS examination, because this gives a bad impression on the part of the candidate who is using it, and this bad impression is carried over to the examiner as well. So you will be likely having less good impression on the examiner. So some of these contractions, for example, which are very familiar, everybody knows, we should not use them. So for example, don't, doesn't, can't, shouldn't, and couldn't, isn't, haven't or hasn't, or some other kind of contractions must not be used. Full form should be used, and do not try to find out a shortcut in writing. Try to give a full words in this case, so that you can leave a better spelling check and accuracy in your writing skills. Number 2, avoid there is and there are expressions. Most of the candidates, what do they do when they start writing the first introductory paragraph, or even if they go to the second paragraph, or the third or the fourth or the fifth one? So what do? They are habitual of using there is, there are, there is, there are. For example, if we are talking about, say any topic of the world, we say, for example, transportation. How important is transportation? Or what kind of measures can be taken to improve or ameliorate the public transportation system. So some of the candidates who are habitual of using these expressions like there are many benefits, there are many advantages of increasing or enhancing or improving or developing the transportation system, or there is a lot of debate going on about increasing transportation system or improving transportation system in the for the public, etc. So do not use there is, there are frequently. Even try to reduce it or minimize its use to the least possible manner. So you can directly start with the topic sentence, right? So if you, for example, if you're writing same as I said about transportation is the main topic and the question which I have already given right now, so you can directly start from here. Transportation is one of the major problems in the world, especially in those countries where number of the people are more to travel and there is less commutational facilities available or transportation facilities available. Like this you can start instead of using there are or there is. And number 3 important point that you have to avoid is using really or very or a lot of. So really or very or a lot of these expressions should also be avoided. Do not use them frequently. Minimize the use of these things, these expressions, because these leave once again the bad impact on the examiner, that you lack. What kind of impression is given when you're using these really or very or a lot of again and again in your expressions or in your writing? It will leave a bad impression on the examiner, in the sense that examiner will be forming an opinion about you that you lack lexical resource. You do not have enough vocabulary to continue writing. So that is why they consider it as a lapse in your writing. So do not use these type of words really, very or difficult. For example, you see, if I have given one example here, and there are so many other examples you come across. Say many students think university exam is very hard. Now you see here, very hard is used or very is used. So sometimes the candidates who are appearing in this examination, they also use, instead of many, they say a lot of students. All right. Or then sometimes they use really somewhere else. For example, they say many students really think university exam is very hard. So using really or very or a lot of these kind of expressions should be minimized, should be reduced, and should be replaced by some other words which can create more clarity, and it can leave your impression in a better way, and you can use your constant systematic practice of increasing and enhancing your vocabulary or diction, so that you can become frequent and habitual user of those words. Now, as I'm saying that many students think university exam is very hard. Now here very is used. Now you can replace this very hard. Very hard means difficult. So we can say that many students think university exam is difficult. So that is much better expression than say very hard or really think about that. So these are expressions which are weak expressions. Try to make strong expressions in your writing module. Number 4 is passive versus active. Now one more important thing is that many candidates who are appearing in this IELTS examination, or generally in other types of examinations also, but especially we are talking with reference to general training module IELTS writing skill. Here you must avoid these passive writing skills. You must use active sentences instead of passive sentences. When you use passive sentences, it gives once again an impression that your writing is weak, and you should also put energy and put enthusiasm in your writing skill by writing effective active sentences. Now, for example, here I said health reforms were introduced by the president. Now you see, this is a passive sentence. So we don't have to write these kind of sentences or such kind of other sentences which are showing passive expression. So we need to replace the passive sentences into active sentences. If we change this active sentence into passive sentence into active, what do you think should be active sentence. So right, so means you can change it in this way. You can say that health reforms were introduced by the president. You can say the president introduced the health reforms. Now you see that this sentence is passive sentence and we have changed into this active sentence, and this active sentence is putting more energy and more enthusiasm into your sentences. So the president introduced the health reforms is much better. Similarly, make it more active where the verb is more active and the sentence becomes active and full of life. Number 5 is use strong forms. As I said, strong forms should be used, and in strong forms, once again, this point must be kept in mind that active sentences should be used. Verb which is in action should be used. For example, I say how we can, I am giving you example here, weak forms, and then I will give you one example of strong form. Now here it is say, he gave assistance to my friend. Now he gave assistance to my friend is a weak sentence. Here you are using assistance as a noun. You are not using as a strong form. So if we change this into strong form, what should be the sentence? So think about that. So if you think about that, you can come across a sentence which is strong. For example, you can say that he assisted my friend. That's it. So he assisted my friend. This is a strong form of the sentence instead of this weak form. Here assisted is being used as a verb in action. So this is stronger form than this, where you are using assist as an assistance as a noun. Similarly, he made an objection, or he made an objection. So you can, this is also weak form. So you can change into strong form. You can say he objected, whatever, he objected this resolution, or he objected on this bill, he objected on his point of view, or he objected on his suggestion or recommendation, like that. So in this way, in these two examples, strong forms must be used, and it is strongly recommended that do not use weak forms in your writing, which will land you into trouble of not getting the required band. And then the sixth important point is read questions carefully, be brief and to the point. Now, when you are reading the question, sometimes the candidates do not understand the instructions. So this is one of the lapses on the part of the candidate. So it is much better that you must understand the instructions carefully and then try to be brief and to the point, because you got total duration of the time for writing task 1 and writing task 2 means total 1 hour. So divide your time in task 1, try to finish it within 20 minutes, save 1 minute here, and try to finish writing task 2 in 40 minutes, but try to finish it before 40 means at least save 1 minute or 2 minutes here. So if you save 2 or 3 minutes from total 1 hour, so you can likely come back once again to your writing task 1 and writing task 2 in order to edit, in order to delete, in order to add something which is not good, or you can add something which is good and effective, which can likely give you more chances and opportunities to get good grades in the IELTS examination of writing module. So this was something which was important for writing module exam tips. Hope so that some of the tips would have helped you. And if you have any questions regarding writing modules, so you can leave your comment in the comment section, and I will come back to you and I will answer your inquiries in an effective manner and help you and assist you in your dream of getting good grades and bands in IELTS exam. And continue to subscribe my channel and like it, share it, so that you can get a lot of benefit. You can really get a considerable understanding and benefit from it. So wish you all the best. Take care of yourself. Till the next video will be tomorrow.